happens in an instant. One hit, and an enemy tank turns into a fireball. For the crew inside, it's a race between life and death measured in seconds. But why does this happen so often? And why are Western tanks far more likely to keep their crews alive? In today's footage, you'll see exactly what separates survival from destruction. Starting with a moment on the front lines, two Ukrainian Leopard tanks pushing forward when one takes a direct hit. At first glance, the scene appears dire, but the truth is different. The blaze you see is from the deliberate detonation of the tank's ammunition compartment. Moments later, the crew's evacuated unharmed. The enemy's position inside a nearby building has already been pinpointed. A Ukrainian Abrams receives the coordinates, aligns its cannon, and sends a round directly into the target. A follow-up shot collapses the entire structure. In these coordinated attacks, a Bradley is often the first to advance, spraying suppressive fire to weaken enemy defenses. The Abrams then joins in, methodically eliminating fortified positions. This is what timely layered support looks like. Elsewhere, in a town under Russian assault, a Russian tank attempts to dislodge Ukrainian defenders. But the crew fails to spot a Bradley arriving as backup, exposing the tank's weak side. Seconds later, the Bradley lands a direct hit and keeps firing. While pushing toward nearby structures, the tank is destroyed, Ukrainian forces are pulled back to safety, and the enemy is forced to withdraw. Another brief but telling duel pits an older Bradley against a modern Russian BTR-82A. The BTR spots its foe first and opens fire. The Bradley instantly answers, muzzle flashes marking every shot. The BTR tries evasive maneuvers but can't change the outcome. The Bradley claims the advantage. Now comes Russia's most advanced tank, the T-90M. Its performance under modern combat conditions is revealing. When these tanks are hit, it's common for the ammunition inside to ignite almost immediately. In one case, a Ukrainian FPV drone slips through an open hatch and detonates inside, setting off the ammo. Flames pour from the turret and driver's compartment, leaving the tank abandoned. A similar tactic is used on another T-90M. Flames shoot from turret hatches, the driver's hatch, and even the barrel. In such moments, survival chances for the crew are nearly zero. In another battle, a Russian tank pushes forward, but a Ukrainian team spots it in time. An FPV drone slams into the engine block, and a second hit punches the turret. The crippled tank stops dead. A third drone is already inbound. With hatches sealed, the operator targets the thin armor seam between the turret and hull, close to the ammo racks. The blast forces the hatches open, and within seconds, the vehicle is engulfed in fire. Next, a strike drone carrying a hand grenade homes in on another modern Russian tank. It appears heavily protected until the drone dives and releases the grenade at the perfect instant. The explosion sends flames out through every opening, proof the ammunition has detonated. An even more fortified tank comes under attack. It has wire mesh on the turret, extra armor plating, and electronic warfare systems. Still, the drone pilot finds a narrow opening in the hatch and drops a grenade inside. Fire erupts, and the suppression system fails. The only reason the tank doesn't explode completely is that it had already spent its ammunition. Another example shows a tank with reinforced underside armor, dynamic turret blocks and shields, plus a mounted gun and electronic countermeasures. The attack drone hovers, then dips low for a clean angle and drops its payload. At first, only a thin smoke plume rises, then the tank bursts into flames. Armor plates pop, thermal decoys ignite, and sparks fly in all directions until the tank is rendered useless. In the final scene of this sequence, a tank advances, firing as it moves, until it unknowingly rolls over a hidden mine. The blast one that would have merely disabled a Leopard or Abrams turns this Russian tank into an inferno because of extra ammunition stored under the floor. In another engagement, A Russian tank drives toward Ukrainian lines. Unaware, an FPV drone is stalking it from behind. The drone closes in, strikes a precise weak spot, and triggers an instant explosion. Flames leap from the turret, signaling ammo detonation. Survival chances for the crew are almost non-existent. We then see a Russian tank upgraded with extra armor. Plates to stop drone attacks, but its front remains exposed. The drone pilot wastes no time, hitting the unprotected section. Within moments, the tank becomes a fireball and is abandoned despite all its modifications. This ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia has brought the role and weaknesses of tanks in modern combat into sharp relief. What began as a confrontation between forces reliant on Soviet-era armor has evolved into a testing ground for tank survivability in an age of drones, precision-guided weapons, portable anti-tank systems, and real-time battlefield data. Both sides. Armored cores still center on decades-old Soviet designs like the T-64, T-72, and T-80. These machines were cutting-edge in their era, fast, light compared to Western tanks, and easy to mass-produce and maintain. Ukraine inherited thousands of them, along with the industry to repair and upgrade. Russia kept vast storage reserves and the ability to modernize and build new models. Ukraine chose to enhance its fleet with upgrades, thermal sights, digital fire control, reinforced armor, and modern comes all far cheaper than designing a new tank. Russia invested heavily in modernizing T-72s and T-80s, introducing the T-90 as its new mainstay, and promoting the T-14 Armata as its next-gen flagship. Yet production hurdles met. Only a few T-14s appeared in combat. Most Russian armor remains older models. When the 22 full-scale invasion began, many believed Russia's tank numbers would overwhelm Ukraine. Instead, Ukrainian forces used Western-supplied javelins, NLAWs, and smart ambushes coupled with drones for scouting and kamikaze attacks to devastate Russian armor. Many Russian tanks were destroyed not in massed battles but by small, hidden teams directing precision strikes. Upper armor vulnerability became glaring, prompting Russian crews to weld cope cages above turrets. These sometimes deflected simple munitions, but rarely stopped advanced attacks and often added weight or reduced turret movement. Meanwhile, Ukraine integrated Leopard 2 South and Challenger 2 South into its forces. These Western tanks offered better protection, targeting, and survivability, but required complex logistics and training, with parts coming from multiple nations. Frontline repairs became critical. Ukrainian mobile teams could return damaged tanks to battle in days, while Russia relied on major depots and even reactivated T-62s and T-55s for secondary roles. Crew skill proved decisive. Well-trained crews reacted faster, maneuvered better, and coordinated effectively with infantry and drones. Ukrainian crews defending their homes adapted quickly and improvised solutions. Russian crews faced manpower churn and morale issues, especially under electronic warfare disruption. The war also proved tanks need combined arms integration to survive. Without infantry cover, air defense, and drone reconnaissance, tanks became vulnerable. Some of the biggest losses occurred when outdated doctrines met a transformed battlefield. Still, tanks aren't obsolete. In open terrain, they deliver mobile firepower and psychological shock no other system matches. They can break through defenses and hold key ground, but their effectiveness depends on the intelligence, logistics, and protection networks supporting them. Future tank design will focus on active defenses against drones and missiles, better drone integration for situational awareness, and improved crew safety. Some envision lighter, modular designs. Others advocate fewer, more advanced tanks used in tightly coordinated assaults. Ultimately, the tank duels in Ukraine are not just about steel and firepower. They're a test of adaptability and human ingenuity under pressure. As long as tanks remain symbols of power and decisive tools in combat, They will continue their role wherever history is written in fire.